people. Sorry about that issue. We had some sort of technical issues in the background, and I've been working hard to sort it out, and we've got it back. So we may have lost some of our watchers at the time, but hopefully they'll see that we have come back and we're able to see it, and we're here. And we've got an excellent connection on our stream health now. Thank you. So we just had to go off and come back again. Anyway, whilst we were away from you beautiful folks and you beautiful people, we were having a little bit of a chat about some of the drama that was happening in the Leicester GT, and Dom was kind of telling Toby in the background. And you know what? I'm going to get you to tell these people, and if you can just give them a kind of rundown of what a certain somebody was doing with a certain clock, that'd be fantastic. And we're not on about clock.
I was going to say, I feel like this drama needs to be called Nice Clock, bro.
Yeah, he was a bit of a clock himself.
Yeah, he sounds like he was really clocking out. Right, anyway, we're going to carry on. I'm just going to let the lovely people of the world know that we're back.
Cool. Right. So what happened on Leicester? So there was an individual who I think had... he definitely had sinister intentions coming into this event. I can't see how you wouldn't when you try and clock all 5 of your opponents out. And like to a lot of new players, it's probably not a good experience where they basically have got an army which is a complete horde army. It just sits on the objectives, really boring, doesn't die, it just keeps coming back with splitting and all these different things, just does an action, and then just does cleanse. And that's all it does. Sits there, doesn't do anything like that. And basically this one player, who one of my teammates played, one of the captains of Team England played, and a few other people we know played, basically weaponized the clock against his opponents and used it as an advantage and a weapon to basically...
Can I just quickly interject with a joke that I'm just desperate to say?
Go on.
Was it a clock of mass destruction?
No. No, it wasn't.
Mass destruction.
Yeah. So it's just in case anyone thinks it's one of the Toys of Mass Destruction guys. It's not, because they're great guys. But
I wasn't leading into that, by the way, but it definitely sounds that way, and I'm sorry.
I know that's why I clarified it. I was like, no,
YouTube, please don't ban me.
So basically he weaponized the clock, and I was witnessing in 3 games. I witnessed him basically be rude, be aggressive, be shouting, falling out with judges, falling out with opponents, like I was on the side of a table watching a game. He started shouting at me, and I was like, "Why am I getting abuse? Like, this is ridiculous." And I even took it upon myself to basically be like to the judges, be like, "This guy has a problem. Like, just keep an eye on him. Like, I'm a nobody, but someone who just basically gets." I was on the verge of some of the games, looked like a bit like bullying. I just thought it was terrible for the community. So I took it on myself to basically complain about it. And it's been handled and all that sort of stuff, I'm sure, behind the scenes. But the drama of this was basically weaponizing clocks, on the verge of bullying and bending the rules to your favor, arguing with referees, players. It's just not nice, and that's not what 40k events are about.
No.
And you hate to see it, but it happened. And there was a couple of games over the weekend where he was playing that he was surrounded by people watching him shout and argue with everyone around him, while you have these really timid looking defeated players just heads down because they just want to get out of this situation. And you're forced to be in front of this. And I just felt sorry for all the players that got to play him over the weekend. So that was the drama. It's not really something that we should like laugh and point about, because it's actually quite upsetting. Because if that happened to you or your friends, like, it's just horrendous. Like 3 hours you got to spend at this table with this absolute clock. So, yeah.
I think the message though that we need to take from this, and I know we like to joke on here, but actually this is a bit of a serious one. Don't be scared to go and raise these issues to the judge, the TOs. Don't be scared to go up to him and be like, look,
Yeah.
the person I'm playing is actually just come here to be a bit of an asshat. There's nothing wrong with turning around and raising that, and we should, be confident enough. But the problem is, one of the things that does come with obviously this hobby is that it is about having confidence. Sometimes it takes time to build that up, but if you get someone who is really combative at a table, who isn't necessarily playing to the nature of the game, I think there's a time where you just got to be like, dude, you're being a clock, and just try not to let it ruin your day. Yes, it may feel like super awkward, but that's just kind of part and parcel of dealing with people like that. And I just want to add, for anybody who's thinking about going to their first tournament, this is rare, this doesn't happen very often, but when you go to a massive event, like a massive event with several hundred people there, the odds of meeting someone like that increases. So we're going to move on. That we are actually going to talk about the meta scene. So we're going to talk about from this weekend just gone, because there was a big tournament that happened, and it was the Winter Assault ITC Major, and it was from Wallum, wherever that is, 74 players, and up the top was Orcs, Tyranids, and Space Marines, all with 5-0. And again, it's the CSM, Votan, CSM, Eldari,
all the usual stuff.
All the usual stuff.
Usual suspects.
Apart from Orcs. Orcs being at the top there, that's great. I mean, they've definitely got it in them as an army to smash
100%.
it. And then in the Winter War in England, 48 players, it was that old nemesis again. We saw an Eldari go 5-0, but we interestingly saw a Custody player go to 4-1. Now, look, I'm
impressive.
Yeah.
And Blood Angels Index. That's interesting.
Yeah, I seriously question, when I see tournaments like this, I kind of think there's certain things I kind of consider. What was the player base of the place?
Was there a super major at the same time?
I might
Do all the good players go to the big super major, get to go all the little ICC points? Yes, they do. And then you always find on super major weekends, like when East Anglia events are, all the good players go to that. You see all the little tournaments get all weird stuff. Like you'll see I don't know, you'll see like cultist spam win an event, or you'll see Thousand Suns where it's just 3 Muta Vortex Beasts and Spawn win an event.
Yeah,
it's always the case.
You've got to be careful when you look at these events and you look at the numbers. I think we're at a stage now with the meta, and this is something that we wanted to kind of highlight, is that we're at a stagnant stage where you're going to see the same every single weekend winning, and you'll see the same armies: Votan, Eldari, CSM.
It's always four. It's always four, no matter when it is. Eldar have been up there the longest. CSM have been this 6 months. Because it's every 6 months that we get a change. So it's last 6 months, the last 2 months before the Dex later was Eldari, and then now it's Eldari, CSM, Votan, and Space Marines getting in there a little bit. But it's that.
So I feel like we can actually move past the Meta Monday article, because actually I don't think the information it's given us is actually really that relevant now. We know what the bottom of the pile is. We know Custodies are very firmly down there. We know GSC are very firmly down there. We know Imperial Knights are down there. And we know you're going to get the occasional anomaly depending on the tournament. We understand that. The thing that we should really talk about, and I'm actually going to get rid of this, and I'm going to get rid of the Meta Monday in favour of this, is the wish list. The wish list for the January FAQ data slate period. And I'm gonna start. I'm gonna go on to Toby and then we'll go on to Dom. Right, so what I'd really love to see is obviously Custodies being balanced out. So
what's the balance though? What is the balance? Like you say balance. I feel like there's 2 changes.
They don't need much. So
they don't. They're really good.
What they need is for them to have 4+ mortals against Dev and mortals. That's pretty standard. They get that, and they'll automatically become way more tankier against lots of different armies. And they need a slight points decrease.
Bikes, especially bikes.
Bikes need to be 60 points a model. Or
50, even lower, 50, because they don't have the same movement they did in 9th. You got to remember this. They can't just go over a building.
The fly
They have
chain.
to go around.
And they're
Like,
so massive.
bike.
You can't hide them because the spears are just so obnoxiously... Like, no one can model them in a way where they're safe. Their melter missiles are strength 9, so they're wounding rhinos on 4s. I think a rhino's a toughness 9, so on 4s. They've got no way of re-rolling that. They are pretty pants for shooting. Don't get me wrong, they still have lance on the charge, but their actual core ability is also pants. The mortals, yeah. So I'd like to see. I think bikes will get a rework in the codex, but I think the only thing we'll see with them is them getting a massive points drop. But I think in
50 points sounds good. It does sound good.
I don't think they'll go that low because GW have never like fast units have never been given that much love. I think they will all drop. Don't get me wrong, like they will go low, but I think the whole because the sisters don't need to change. They're in a good spot.
Yeah, real good.
To keep them at the same points. The custodies need to come down in points. They need their 4+ against Dev, and I would consider making some of their stratagems 1 CP less, because the majority of their stratagems are 2 CP.
I'm not sure I agree that Games Workshop will do anything with CP. I think they take the lazy approach, and they'll change a core mechanic, which you bolt on, like they do with Death Guard. So you bolt something on. Could be even like +2 move to a data sheet, like bikes. Give them +2 move. Great. But I think it will get fixed in points. That's the main thing. Some of the units are a bit too expensive. I would love to see Guard come down a little bit.
Yeah, Custodian Guard. The thing is that what happened was, and it was quite a major thing really. When you drop their numbers so that we could only take 5 in a unit, you drop their reliability quite substantially, because that 10-man blob, yes, it was oppressive, but you needed it to tank the damage. You don't have that anymore. So for my wish list, it is literally Dev Wounds fixed it, Custodies getting cheaper, and bikes need a rework.
Yeah.
I think other armies out there need some love. I think Imperial Knights need a little bit of love. I think GSC will potentially get cheaper, which is mad because they're already super cheap.
I don't know if that's a fix for them, right?
They always just seem to be an army that is always either broken or rubbish.
Yeah, they've never.
There's
known
never,
it, right?
yeah, I've never known a period where it's like you can just be like, this is just a solid army with, like I say, a 55 win percentage. Like,
I just don't like them. Let's just keep them. Let's just ignore them.
Honestly,
I don't like playing against them.
They are the bogeyman from Black Library that just seems to have kind of failed in terms of making it to the tabletop. They are like the Skaven of the 40k world, and they just don't work.
But the one thing they did nail with them is the quality of the miniature. The miniatures look incredible.
Yeah.
And if somebody paints them, puts the love into painting them, they're like a Guard player. Like, you sit there and you put the love into painting 100 miniatures plus, and it doesn't even make 2,000 points. There's some love there. So I think you're going to see a Dark Eldar or Drakari. They're going to get a big buff up.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah, they're going to be very good, I think.
So this is kind of where I'm at with it. Toby, let's hear what's your wish list for the data slate.
Well, as a Space Marine player, I'm not overly wishing for anything. The codex feels very balanced.
It's nice, isn't
it? I mean, obviously we've got, if anything's going to get a little bit of a touch, it is probably Inceptors and Redemptors.
You're just hoping they don't get touched too bad.
Well, I think both could go up a good 10, 15 points and be fine.
I think for the health of the hobby, indirect inceptors, there needs to be another touch to them. For the health of the hobby,
Inceptors, I think they're definitely going up, but I think they are.
What are they at the minute
fine.
for free?
110.
So they need to be at least 150.
What?
So they used to be 115, and they were fine at 115. And I
They're
think
not fine at 115.
Then they need to be 150.
They were when I was playing them at 115 in the previous version.
It's a very different codex now, though.
It's the changes is because we can't reroll our wounds.
My mate Ross gives me nightmares about him dropping in with his bloody inceptors and plasmering everything to death, and I can't do anything about it.
I think 150 points for free models I think would be fair, just because of the amount of damage output they can do. If
150, you won't see them on the table.
Yeah, but if you compare them to like Custodian models,
but you can't, because they don't have a 4-up invuln. They don't have any of that kind of thing. They will just they fall over very quickly when you shoot them back.
What about 130?
I'd say probably 120, 125 would be my hope, because then they're still a competitive unit. They're still a good unit, but you won't see 15 of them in a list. I think 6 to 9 of them is probably where they should
around
be.
Like 18 at the moment. People are running
exactly, which is just not right.
I would still spend 450 points on 9 of them.
If I had,
because of what they do,
TSM,
they die too quick for 450 points. 450 points of like, considering 450 points is what, like, I think a Deathwing command squad is currently 410, which is a bit 420, which is a bit overcosted.
Yeah, but they can land 3 inches away and go, "You're dead."
Deleted.
No, I know, but they also don't. So they are very good, and they do delete certain targets. But again, there's only 6 shots in there. So it's not
6 dead models.
I think you're fighting a losing battle on this one, Tobes.
Yeah,
only 2/3 of them
in the trenches fighting against these buggers for ages. I hate them.
You just need more infiltrator abilities. I think it's fine, not infiltrator, but it's infiltrators, omni scramblers.
Yeah, if I had that, I wouldn't even care.
I think that this is the thing. They need to get it so that that is accessible to most armies, if not all armies, because all Imperial armies have access to it through the Inquisitorial Retune. But none of the Chaos armies have access to it, because Imperial armies. Sorry,
we don't even get assassins. I want Chaos assassins. I want to make like a cool sniper.
Now we're talking about hobby ones. I mean, if they brought Chaos assassins out, that'd be so cool, and it would really work, because assassins have been on the cuff for a while, right?
Yeah.
There is a Gaunt's Ghost book dedicated to a group of Chaos assassins, and it's very good. I can't remember which book it is. It's one of the books about a returning saint, and that's their assassination target, and Gaunt obviously has to protect them. Very, very good book. There's a Mandrake in there as one of the Chaos assassins, which is very cool.
There is one. You are right.
Yeah, there is. Oh no, I can't say that without giving a massive spoiler, so I won't. But there's some. It's a very good book. All Gaunt's Ghost books are pretty good, but that one sticks in my mind as one of the best. But yeah, so Chaos Assassins would be cool. I think we do need to see a more of a prevalence of that 12-inch deny rule, just so that we don't. Because I must admit, I did go against a Tau player. He couldn't screw me out. I went, but your Tetras are gone, and then I had the game. So yes, they need a bit of a rework. Redemptors probably go up a little bit. I think they'll be fine at say 215. Apart from that, I don't think. I mean, I don't like indirect fire. I think Corbyn actually came up with a really good way to fix it, of just going, there needs to be a spotter unit for you to then fire indirect at something. I quite liked that idea, because then obviously if you still are completely hidden from your opponent's army, they just can't shoot you. Thematically, it makes sense.
I've always said that if you've got indirect fire, you shouldn't be able to be buffed. the unit should not be able to have
Yes,
any, should not
agree.
be able to benefit from any buffs that your army
Yeah.
may pump out.
No
which
rerolls.
no rerolls, no +1 to hit, no ignoring cover. If you're doing indirect, if you've got an AP on it, you get your AP.
Mm.
I don't think you should be able to buff it one bit, because I feel like it's too easy to manipulate and break.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you can go, okay, here are my manticores, they're hitting on 2s now, and it's no points investment to do that, because you want Lord Solar anyway, because he's that good. You want all the models in there that make you do that regardless. And it is a bit of a feels bad. So I do think that maybe indirect would be the big thing for me to go. I like the spotter idea. I think it works. It also forces the exposure of a unit, which I think particularly, bless you, I think particularly for guard will be good, because obviously they have those units that they can throw away, so they'll keep that aspect of their indirect. But something like Eldari,
bullshit.
well, yeah, they when they do have a more limited number of resources, and obviously the things like warp spiders are going to go up in points. We know that, so they can't throw away those units as easily. If you balance that correctly, I think forcing that trade off of things that have to come out and die. But equally, when I went against these whirlwinds, I don't know if it's that my opponent was low rolling. But they did nothing. They really, really did nothing compared to my Inceptors or my Land Raider. They just it was almost an irrelevance. So that's but indirect. Yeah, I would say needs to go. I don't like the movement shenanigans, the -2 and no advances.
Just everything about Eldar indirect is just stupid. Like the
Yeah.
fact that they pair it up with a yin card. So they, at any point in the game, they just go, okay, let's just kill 5 of your sisters, you like Custodes player, and then an Incarn pops up, and then you go, right, now I'm charging a brick that you've got hidden that you're saving for next turn. I then kill them all, and then you kill something in your shooting, and then I just go back to the other side of the board. Because like when the Incarn's in your deployment zone, it's the implication, right, that at any point it can teleport away, or it will just stay, and you're like, I've got like a Baden next to him ready to charge. I can't shoot anything else because I'll kill stuff, because it's only elf stuff, and as soon as I kill them, it goes away. So I actually need to not kill my opponent's army just to deal with the Incarn, and then you always end up forgetting and killing something, and then
unless obviously it runs into Trajan and it's WTC ruling on Trajan, and then Trajan fucks the Incarn.
Yeah.
I mean, I did very much enjoy killing the Incarn on my opponent's turn when it shot my Land Raider, and I went, I'm going to get my Eradicators out and they're going to shoot it back. Bye.
Yeah.
That felt good. But yeah, I mean, we know Eldari need a touch. They will get a touch.
They need a big touch. Sorry, they don't need a little touch.
I'd like to see them drop about 7.5%. And then I think happy days.
I
You
think
need the Incarn gone. He should not be able to charge after he teleports.
Yeah.
no,
Stop that, and then I'm happy. Tax the indirect and get rid of the mortals. Happy days.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's fine.
indirect, like we said before, indirect is such a negative impact. I definitely hope the data slate either changes the rule completely, or because I don't think just keep putting a price hike on indirect units works.
No, it doesn't. I mean, the thing that broke Desolators was their unit size, not the price hike. Because both Corbin and I both agreed if we had to pay 400 points for a squad of 10 plus then the character with bolter discipline, we'll do it still. But then the fact that we could only take 5 of them, that's what did it.
Yeah, I think that's what's struggling so much with the Custodes. Like, I think also we're so limited on what units are actually good in the Custodes.
It's just not got the roster. And it's not like 1,000 Suns where they can field a critical mass of units, and and it kind of gets them there. They don't have the Rhino, so I know they've got the whatever Anthema Rhino, but it can't fit Custodian Guard in it.
No,
So
the only way you either spend £200 on a huge brick of resin to move 8 Custodian Guard or whatever in them, and bear in mind that tank does nothing. It's 200 points, £200. So for every point you pay on that model, you pay £1.
Oh my god!
3D printer go brrr.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
But you wouldn't run them. The Coronas Grav tank, it just don't. So you're always going to go Land Raider, but our Land Raiders are more expensive.
Yeah, and they're not good, are they? Do you get access to a Redeemer?
No, we only get God Hammers.
I was going to say, yeah, because the Redeemer, in my opinion, and I am biased here, but the Redeemer is my favourite by some distance.
Broken.
It's not broken.
It's 100% broken. Honestly, what the hell, man? That needs to go up 20 points at least. You just park it in the middle of the board and then no one can move.
You just can't come within 12
inches. Yeah, look at you giggling. I know you know this. And then what do you do? Then you just drop Inceptors on them. And then, lol. Get Inceptors out. Get that bloody Land Raider gone. And
yes.
Kala's Assassin. Hike her up 20 points.
So I think... I don't know if the Land Raider will take the hit because it's not being seen in as many lists. And it's usually one of my best units. It's usually up there in my top 3 units in my games. But
you do pay the premium for it, though.
It's the thing. It's 260 points. It's a pretty good, and I lost it turn 1 against the Harlequins. You can lose at turn 1.
Yeah, that would hurt. And then you've also got to, I suppose, if you pay your 1 CP to smoke it.
It's smoke and then Armor of Contempt, and then it's saving -3s on 3-ups still.
Yeah.
So it's got the play, but it's an investment because you've invested 2 CP in it. You've invested 260 points.
Yeah, it's a lot. That is a lot.
Yeah, exactly. So I honestly think that's fair. Inceptors, absolutely, we do not pay enough, and that needs to change. Redemptors, little touch.
Do we think things like Chaos Knights are going to see a touch? Do you think their CP are going to go up?
I think that they might. Some of their smaller ones might go up a couple of points, but I don't think it's going to be that much.
I don't think so. I don't, because they haven't got the win rate.
Yeah, that's fair. Votan, I think, might be the one that gets just a little.
They're gonna go up slightly in points. They dropped them too much.
Sagittars, and that's all they'll change. They'll just hike the Sagittars 10 points each, and they're fine.
Yeah, I'll be honest though. I think in terms of what I want from this data slate, there's not much, which is really good.
I want Lords and Chosen to go. That's what I want. I hate seeing the same list copy and pasted.
Oh man, it was the Whirlwind Space Marine thing at Leicester.
Well, luckily that just sucked.
Yeah, it was just. I just couldn't get my head around why people had just spammed it so hard. The Space Marines book has got so many options.
People got overexcited for it.
And they probably had Whirlwinds. They're like, oh, cool, I can get this.
This is the thing, and I think people were just like, oh, I can 3D print some Whirlwind turrets for my Rhinos.
Yeah, Predators and Rhinos.
So, yeah, exactly. So they did that. They turned up with the list because 3 Redemptors, 3 Whirlwinds, very easy to get hold of, and then Inceptors. But actually, a lot of them played it in Ironstorm, which is not the best attachment to play it in. That is an absolute trap. And then you win some games on your rerolls because you can, but it's not the best version of Marines. I'm actually quite happy because it means that they're going to touch the units that I don't use, so I'm quite happy about that.
So when do we think it's going to come then? When do you think
it is end of Jan?
Yeah, end of Jan.
So
yes, the week before the lists are in for the international team tournament.
Wow, so it is literally the end of Jan.
It happens on the Wednesday. The submission's on the Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of pressure.
That is. I mean,
And
I've
is
got
he-
2 more tournaments before then, I think. So
What,
Mm.
before the team? No, we're talking about the team tournament in February, not the one in May.
yeah. No. I know. So I've got one that I've just booked in January.
Oh, you're going to
Um,
Peterborough Slam, aren't you?
Yes.
How are you getting there? Who's taking you?
I'm going to take the train.
Are you? Oh God.
It'll be the train, or there might be some of our other teammates that are driving down, but I'm not sure yet.
I won't be there for that one. I'm going
No, you're going.
partying.
Oh no, you're going to bring me the horizon. I'm very jealous.
I am,
That's why I'm
yes.
going to Peterborough Slam. But yeah, I'm actually quite keen for that tournament. I think it's going to be really good. And now I've got my list to sort of a point that I really like.
So Dom, what's the next tournament we're going to see you at, mate? You going to go to Northampton?
I don't know. I'm
Go
like,
to Northampton. We're going to be there.
there's so many I can go to because it's like the new season starts.
So,
So I've got a teams event in January, like the first weekend of January. I've got a teams event, then I've got the ITT. Then I've just booked Manchester, and then I'm gonna try and do a few of your events and the Winchester ones as well. Mark's event.
Yeah, I want to go. We've been talking. We're going to come to a Winchester one because
They're
it's
great.
it's
They're
a
really
good one for our southern players and for us to go to because it's about middle, so about 2 hours each side. So
I think they just had an RTT with 54 players.
who
Yeah, man,
Winchester?
Because
he's doing all right.
that was the one that the Dark Angels player that just thrown me from top
Yeah.
spot. I think he won like
I was
2-1 at their 50-person RTT.
I was going to message Mark actually and be like, "When's your next GT?" and try and go to that. I think I'm going to go to Northampton, and
Yeah.
I'm waiting to see if I can throw a last minute EA GT in the last weekend of January.
Yeah, I would really love that.
Just try and tempt people.
Last weekend is his one.
Which one, Mark's?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're so far away from one another.
That's true.
We're
That's true.
2 hours. 2 hours. The idea is so that we can get a bunch of us all together. We're also going to do the tournament cheaper as well, so that we can do it last minute. But I think we're just waiting to see if we can get dates for that. But anyway, we're digressing. We're just kind of chatting away. So we're gonna end it there tonight, folks. We've done our wish list. Just want to say thank you again, Dom, for joining us again. No doubt you're going to be on with us again, and we'll talk the meta with you. Obviously, myself and Toby, we're loving the fact, and we're so sorry about the stream going down. That was for once out of my control. Anyway, from us at Black Crow Gaming, we just want to say big thank you and goodbye. If like and subscribe. We have got actually. We'll do a quick mention. We are recording this week. We're going to do kind of like this is what we've done this year, and this is what we're planning to do next year. If you've been watching us and keeping up to date with like the podcast when we've been getting guests on, please actually have a look at the battle reports. They're going really well. Any feedback you got for those, obviously, it's really appreciated, and it just helps the channel grow. And we're trying to cultivate a very different style of channel to what's out there. So hopefully we can build something, and obviously Dom helps us along the way. That's even better. So from us at Black Crow, thank you very much. Thank you for watching. Take care.
Thanks, guys.